Hey, YouTube friends, welcome. Glad you could join us here for a traditional Forgotten Realms draft. I just asked chat, and today, best of three just clobbered best of one, like not even close. I don't know. Maybe I just have viewers who vacillate in what they're looking for day to day, or maybe the people who show up day to day are different, and we just got the traditional crowd today. But I'm into it. Best of three, high risk, high gain. Man, if you can get to this 3-win mark and double up your buy-in, it feels so sweet. But if you only get one win and wave 1,500 gems goodbye, it feels so harsh. Of course, there's this middle ground of if you can 2-1 pretty consistently in best of three, it's minus 500. But between grinding your daily gold and multi-accounting to keep up your resources, if you can kind of consistently avoid the one win and just land somewhere on the, pretty frequently on the 2 wins, that plus the system gold that you earn for playing is going to tread you water pretty well. And if you're not having that level of success, well, you should maybe play in Premier at least until you're at Platinum, or until pressure is pushing you towards 50% from the top. Then you can play in here. I've noticed the competition is generally softer, even if you're like 2-0 and in the 2-0 bracket, you can often feel like, oh, they're 2-0 as well, I assume, but they're not as not high quality opponent as I'm used to, like at the top of the food chain in ranked. If you want to hit the top of the food chain in customer service, in card availability, in buy prices, in awesomeness, in Magic Retail, you're going to, of course, hit up my sponsor, cardkingdom.com. They can be found via my affiliate links in the panels down below, in the chat link there from Hat, in my YouTube video notes. They all lead you to Card Kingdom via my affiliate link. And then your business there is associated with me for a couple of weeks, and that helps keep me on the air. They're very happy when they see that someone came from Going Optimal and then got some sweet cardboard from them. I am thinking about buying some stuff. I need to check in on. I got my collection of shiny Pokelands going. I like these, but the price has actually gone up on those. I maybe it's my fault. I doubt it. I don't have that kind of reach. But I was noticing that for a foil full arts, to me, sweet looking land, that they were pretty inexpensive and now they're climbing up there again. Here's another. I have a vintage cube and I want to get this cycle. I got the first one of these. I just think these lands, all told, these Eldraine monocolored boosters are great. So I picked up one of those. I might see if Card Kingdom has how they're doing on some more of those. And if they're not, I can always put in a restock notice, and even the fanciest, blingiest thing gets restocked pretty regularly there. So check it out. And I'm going to go ahead and dive in for gems here, and we'll approach 200k gold, see if we can get there without draining our gems. That's kind of my goal these days. Oh, Tron, I feel you. I just I did that in time. I made a huge push to get a bunch of alpha and beta lands basics for my vintage cube at a time where they were in the $2 to $5 range, and I feel very good about that. Obviously, they are no longer $2 to $5. But geez, take me back to 1999, please, when I could have tracked down alpha basics for chump change. Somehow we didn't see it coming. We should have. I mean, they're the fundamental playing piece of the game, and to use the game's original fundamental pieces is pretty cool. Yeah, you're not alone, Raptor. I think, for one thing, the designers of the normal modern card frame agree with you. There's a reason Wizards made it the default frame, because it's highly functional and really clean and good. I do wonder if we will look back on this era as the beginning of the end of normal Magic cards. Like, I can't even imagine what a Commander game is like. Between altars and weird stuff, it was already kind of weird at a blingy Commander game, but a heavily blinged out Commander game at this point and into the future is going to barely even look like Magic from a distance. There's just so many weird things. I threw out a pick yesterday of do you first pick Purple Worm or Owlbear? I had a pack one, pick one that was clearly to me Purple Worm versus Owlbear, and I went Owlbear, but I wasn't sure. In this case, though, we're taking the premium removal. I am really trying to pay attention to accepting that the removal is not fantastic in this set, but that you still need it. Today it's Worm versus Dragonfire, but this is fantastic. In fact, I had an incredible incredible game yesterday off air that I almost came back, almost pulled off this wild comeback. I was at 1 life and had the win the next turn, and they had a Dragon's Fire to kill my 4 toughness creature because they did have a dragon out, and I thought that was neat. It's like, okay, finally the extra text on Dragon's Fire actually mattered and was game changing there. Well, and this is how I end up in red-black. I'm not passing Dragonfire, and I'm talking about how important removal is. Now I'm taking Grim Bounty, and here we are 2 picks into red-black again. But, if the table's going to give it to me, I'm going to take it. But I am going to be aware that it's pretty heavily drafted, and kind of reminds me the red-black. In anybody who, old schooler who was around for triple Zendikar, the original Zendikar, there was a lot of lessons learned from that set about how to balance limited for Wizards of the Coast, because it was wildly imbalanced towards black and red, such that a lot of drafts would go black card, red card, and then all of it dries up. And then you never saw another black or red card because everybody else at the table was trying to do the same thing. I don't think we're there yet or anything, but it does make me think of that. And I do want to try to keep an open mind, like maybe Plate Armor is the pick here. Evolving Wilds, Hoarding Ogre, Swarming Goblins are all fine. I think if we were to take one of these, I would take the Ogre or the Evolving Wilds. I don't have that hooked up. I'll try to get it in because I know you all like that, but it's like a 7-minute video that I don't have hooked up, so I can't deliver on that today. Plate Armor is maybe worth. But this is a particularly good one if you're doing the thing. But this does cut the color. I suppose if we can carve out this lane for ourselves, we'll be happy with that. So I'll take it. I kind of want this Evolving Wilds too. Also, I'm going to say, let's talk Fate's Reversal. Now, we had a spot. Thieves' Tools or Deadly Dispute. I think I like Deadly Dispute first here. Thieves' Tools seems to be pretty available. They come pretty late. What was I saying, though? I was trying to make a point. Oh, we were debating between the 2-mana Raise Dead effect and the 1 mana, if this dies this turn, return it to the battlefield with a +1/+1 effect. And we went with the Raise Dead effect in that game, in that event, and I think it was wrong. I think the 1 mana return to battlefield is actually much better. It is, you would take the spoil. No, I hear you. This is great, but I'm going to just try to carve out the lane. Feign Death, thank you. Feign Death, I think, is better than the Raise Dead effect, even though it's obviously got more significant hoops. Even though it's got more significant hoop. And now here, if you were on the green train, you'd get paid for this. We still could take the Owlbear. There is another Hoarding Ogre here, but we can take this as Signally and take the Owlbear. I don't mind that I took the Dispute over the green card last pack, but this has got to be you got to stand up and take note here. In any case, the big deal between the Feign Death and the Raise Dead is the Feign Death. You don't have to recast the spell. You get it for free. I beat somebody. I had my opponent at 6, and they targeted my my red uncommon dragon with the Fireball. with the fireball that deals 2, and I responded with Feign Death, and so the fireball dealt 2 to both of us. I Feign Death the dragon, it comes back in and killed my opponent on the spot. So anyway, it's that moment was like, oh yeah, there's definitely a higher setup, but not having to recast the thing and getting the +1/+1 counter is big game. Anyway, back here, do we take Zombie Ogre? It's not really a Zombie Ogre direction right now. I don't like the Troll at all. We could take Wild Shape or Idol as medium green cards because we feel like green is open, but I'm going to take the Ogre. We only have the 1 green card, and nothing there was amazing. So, okay, now we have Spoils of the Hunt 7th, and that's really signally. So we're going to take that and figure out kind of how to be green here. Another Owlbear. All right, deck, table, I hear you. Jim has found it to be worse. Well, there you go. We're all just expressing the perspectives that we have on it, and in my experience, the Raised Dead has been way too clunky. And also, I'm talking about I've been in so many low to the ground red-black decks that can keep 1 black mana open pretty easily and are tangling in combat all over the place. So it's been really effective in the red-black decks I've been running. Price of Loyalty or Plundar the Barbarian. Holding the mana up is not that clunky, though, is what I'm saying. When you get through to turn 5, I'm going to take Price here in case we do pivot back to black. Evolving Wilds shouldn't be here. Neither should this Plate Armor. But I'm going to take Evolving Wilds. I get it, but look, it looks like we're going to go in on green, but I'm still not sure where we're at. If we get hooked up with, for example, a red-black Mythic, unbeatable red-black Mythic in pack 2, we're going to take it and we're going to say goodbye to the green, you know? So I'm just trying to stay open and know that the Plundar is not that amazing. But I have come way up on Plundar for sure. Instead, man, this is the Mythic that follows me around. I've had... Icing Death sounds like, first of all, a menu item at a highfalutin dessert shop. I want a highfalutin dessert shop to offer something called Icing Death Frost Tyrant. I can reserve it. What do we got? I mean, this is really a bad pack outside of it is the thing. I mean, what are we taking if we don't take this? Like a Robber? I just don't... I mean, it's white. We're not pivoting into white, are we? Yeah, you'll find some Prisoners is pretty interesting. It's like a Shatter that cycles into the best card of your opponent's top 3. Yeah, this is best of 3. That's true. We could take that. All right, I'm going to be grown up. We're not white. We'll take this. Not even for the sideboard. I can main deck this. There's no reason not to main deck that. Another Mythic offered to us. We thought green was open, but not open to the left, it looks like, which is understandable because we passed some good stuff. I think I take the Wilds. But I could take the Wanderer in case we do end up black-red. Yeah, I mean, we're not going to be in blue. I'm just going to pass this. Even though collection building. I'm going to take Grim Wanderer. We have 1 Evolving Wilds anyway, and if we're black-red, I'm not sure how many we want. Well, this is interesting for the black-red lane. Skullport Merchant is quite excellent. And I feel like we're going to get the green hookup in pack 3. I mean, we could still read the signals here and say, look, we can build on the 2 Owlbears and the spoils in pack 3. But I got to take what's in front of me here, and I think that's Merchant over Death Priest here. Yeah, red doesn't seem open, but so we'll at least take the black then, which does seem open. owlbear. So this is kind of decision time. What do we... It feels like black is the color most open that we're deepest into. So I think we are definitely black at this point based on... And we could even like splash a Dragon's Fire off some treasure if we were in that world. I'm leaning here just because it's so much better than this stuff. But obviously if we end up in the red-black lane, we just want more of this early red-black stuff. But the red rare is basically unplayable. Yeah, if we look at our red, Dragon's Fire is what we like about it. Almost full stop. I think we just take Precipitous Drop here. Clutches is somewhat interesting, but drop is removal. How many owlbears is too many? Depends on what other fives you want to play, but let's say I have no other fives. I would play like 4 or 5 of them. Perhaps we could treasure that up, but I kind of like a plummet for the board. Yeah, Wolf is exactly okay. And I think Wolf and Sellsword are both... I mean, first, feels like we're not red. So that's one reason Krauser. And second, I don't even particularly love this in red treasure. I'm going to take Plummet. We're best of 3. And Plummet is B level removal spell out of the board. Is this a reason? Update is available. Yeah, we'll do that later. And we can take the Null, but we feel like we're more black than red. Let's take the Null Hunter. Yeah. I saw a Null up here. I thought you were suggesting this. I just don't think we're red-green, but we are... It looks like we're green-black most likely at this point, so we'll take the Null Hunter. I have not found this to be particularly reasonable. I would almost rather have a 6-drop removal spell in a deck like this. If we're trying to play a bunch of owlbears anyway, we may have ability and cause to play a 6-drop removal spell. We can always bring it in out of the board too. We'll start it here now, but know that we can cut it. If our deck gets good enough to cut it, great. And then we can bring it in when we have big beasties to get. Yeah, death triggers could make that 1-drop more useful. Herbalist is good for one thing and one thing only, I think. And that's this.
Oh. Hey, Holmes. Oh, yeah.
Bull's Strength is a decent combat trick, but I'm going to take a second Wilds. It could help us splash. Leather Armor. YouTube friend Ryan, also named Ryan, easily my #1 video commenter, is saying he says he's found Leather Armor to overperform. I haven't even really looked closely at it, but Ryan's pretty smart cookie. We need you to stop by live, Ryan. When are you gonna... I don't know what time zone you're in and what time it is for you at 9 a.m. Pacific, or what you're doing at that part of the day, but you gotta come by and join us live sometime, buddy. Anyway, keeping an eye on Leather Armor. And I guess I could see it really making it tough if you're going hyper aggro for your opponent to interact with your best stuff. But anyway, so here we go. Yeah, I'm not high on armor at all, but I'm just saying Ryan is, and I'm trying to keep an eye on it at least. We could take the Death Toucher. The Reclusive Painter is kind of a reason to be in here. What blade are we talking about? Yeah, I guess we could take the Blade. Maybe this is the card that... Yeah, let's take the Blade. I think we're most likely black-green, so I should just wave goodbye to the Painter. I just want... I still want to be red-black somehow, but we're just not. And that's okay. We got a controlling, reasonable deck here. A lot of black removal with a bunch of owlbears to gain card advantage is fine. Saw a green rare and got excited, but that is not for us. Spoils of the Hunt, however, more good removal is. Yeah, we could splash the fire, but honestly, we're picking up the removal suite that we don't even need to splash, but we'll see. I've not really been green-black much, so we'll see how this goes here. Temple for more fixing, but we have double wilds. That's pretty strong already. We could try splashing Barrowin. We could just take a Death Toucher. I guess now that we have 2 spoils, we should just take a Death Toucher. Another owlbear. We're going to answer that question. How many of these is too many? We could take a Horde Robber. Maybe our 2s are low enough to want a Horde Robber. But I think I just want another owlbear, dang it. Hook me up. And then another removal spell. Yeah. Here's the Feigned Death that I've been appreciating more. Ray of Enfeeblement is excellent. Especially best of 3. Being able to -4/-4. But Hunter's Mark is more consistently, like both of these hose a color. This hose is a worse color, but I'm going to take the one that I think is more likely to produce the X for 1 result we're hoping for out of removal. And what do you say? 5 owlbears? 5 owlbears? Cut the ogre? Grin and bear it? You want a blade? Let's see, where are we at on 3s? Yeah, maybe we could take a 3. I'm going to take... I want 5 owlbears. I'm cutting the ogre and we're taking 5 owlbears. Another plummet for the board. I mean, we got a giant. I don't know if we need it with 5 owlbears. But you can make the case for the plummet. But we'll take the big boy, sure. Clutches, interesting. Yeah, probably Cutting Eyes. We have much better removal than that now. Our removal really got there. This is fine. What do you mean rip curve? Curve is good. We're in good shape. This deck is great. Maybe. I don't know. Another Eye of the Beholder. We're not taking that Compelled Duel. Hey! Curve rewarded. Curve rewarded. Nice. Love it. So now we have 2 cuts to make. I think I cut 1 wild shape. We're at 15.9. I think we want the Dryad with the big end we've got going. Like, Neverwinter Dryad. I don't like this card, really. We don't even have death triggers, per se. But we also don't have super number of choices here. Yeah, we could lose the drop as medium removal in the face of 2 Grim Bounties, a Hunter's Mark, and 2 spoils. Clutches is playable. There's a lot of cuttable stuff here. It's a lot of medium, like, there's a bunch of things that you can, at their best case, you can, for all of these, imagine some best cases that are pretty good. But drop with no other venturing is pretty underwhelming. We do have Fangblade, so we don't have 0 other. But removal is so precious that sometimes, I mean, this is probably good out of the board, honestly. And then if Oppo is playing a lot of obvious targets for that are worthwhile, you can bring it in. And we can Yeah, there's, you know, I think our bottom end is not impressive, but yeah, I don't know where we fit this in. I guess this is like a turn 4, but then see, like the point of playing the Dryad would be to power out Owlbears a turn early, but that's a pretty awkward sequence. You gotta get this on 1. I guess this is an okay turn 3 play. Like if we think of this as a 3-drop. Like if we draw this by turn 3 and we play and activate it on 3, we're getting Owlbears on 4. So anyway, thinking about that. You're right that this is very much less effective in the archetype we're in here. But stuff still dies. It still does this at instant speed. And as is the case with this, I mean, here, let's... there's a lot of medium stuff in here. That's the problem. I mean, I can put back... I'm not sure how we want to do this. If we want to, like, try and... I mean, we could even splash. We could put in Dragon's Fire. If we just wanted to up our game a bit, we could pull in premium stuff that we've cut. We could bring in Zombie Ogre, but I'm happy with the 5X Owlbears here at 5. We could bring in Eyes of the Beholder instead of Hill, but... yeah, we have plenty of removal. I mean, this is a nice split. It's 15-8, and we do have like 5 pieces of removal. The bow is interesting, but yeah, I'm fine with starting here and then all of this is fine. Dispute gives us a way to make sure we can play our own Wanderer in certain cases. Horde Robber can make us treasures to sack to it. Let's give it a shot. And we got 5 bears. It's got to be an owl pun or a bear pun. Bring out your best owl puns and bear puns, and if you can come up with this both in the same pun, then you're going to be the winner. We can make a lick joke. We could say 5 licks. How about 5 licks? Because in the commercial it's 3, but for us it's 5. All of them. Let's do that. I like that best. Well, thank you, Render. It's fun to try and be clever with chat. Sometimes we're cleverer than other days. This is a good one. All right, let's get some better lands. And I do like the Forest Lean. In this kind of deck, Jim, you might be better off with the Raised Dead, but in the black-red decks I've been playing, the Feign Death has been insane in ways that the Raised Dead simply would not have been. Let's do these. Those were the paper set those are from is Unhinged, and those are actually my favorite basic lands of all time. Around here, they were a promo of some kind. I think you had to buy them in the store or win them in an event or something. Maybe it was win them in an early event around here. Let's do a par poll. If we were to play this event out 1,000,000 times, what would our average win count be? All right, Horde Robber on turn 2 on the play is nice, and we have a turn 3 play no matter what. If we can connect once with the Robber, we're likely to get Owlbears on 4, which would be fantastic, of course. Oh, you're late, Dryad, but you can still be our turn 3 play, especially if the Horde Robber doesn't get through. I like Dryad ramping over Moon Druid, I think, but if we can connect with the Robber, maybe we just go Moon Druid and max our damage. So it doesn't look like we get to connect with the Robber, so given that, I am going to Dryad so that we can get to Owlbear next turn. If we swing and bluff, let's see. I guess it just costs us 2 damage on the way back. The trouble is that but we get a chump, we get a block and a chump and yeah, let's do it because might as well. It's basically free because what I'm intending to do is Dryad, chump and sack anyway. So we get to put Oppo to a free test if my plan is to play the Dryad. Still need to actually draw the 5th land. That part's not guaranteed. So I also like, you know, making sure we're doing that. Horde Robber does demand they play something to block it too. I assume they will. Nobody just lets a Horde Robber run roughshod early. Oops. You gotta at least be able to answer what you're ramping to. Why, you know, and if you've gotta, like, the 5x Owlbear is a reasonable thing to ramp to for sure. And yeah, it only gets forests, which is one of its real problems. Now, Brazen Dwarf is not much of a threat here. So it's a little bit of an overkill to Grim Bounty it, but we could do that and then get the Horde Robber through. So there is that. Oh, we can't bounty it, right? Sorry, 1 black. Okay, so given that, let's just bluff him again. And then we're gonna drop the circle here, the Moon Druid. Fancy, fancy chat, counting my black mana. Oh, we're so smart. You're just so cocky about it. You're so cocky, chat. He says, projecting mightily. Well, that's an obvious dare. What do you think the effect is? I guess oh, you can just double. It's got the double activation, so it's a threat of activation. Look at me reading cards. All right, so we have no blocks because of threat of activation. Hey, and if that's what they're going to do, though, I think that's actually pretty good for us. We could go Owlbear and then threaten to just trade Owlbear for the Fang Knoll, the Demon Fang. We could also go Clutch's Deadly Dispute, but their hand isn't empty enough yet. I don't love this card, but it's it's growing on me. I don't know if it's better or worse than just a straight 4/2. I don't know if I like the 2/4, but let's send in both here anyway. We got the attack because now we either connect for 4. I guess they just let us. They take 4. Yeah, it is good against that the 3/1 crowd, right? So maybe it's a little bit. It is better than a straight 4/2. There are times where you just love that 4 power on defense as well. Trade up. Yeah, I think you're right. I was talking about trading off the owlbear, but if they're spending their whole turn on pumping the null right now, I think that's fine. And now it looks like they're wanting to do this on defense, and if they're planning to spend their whole turn threatening a pump here, I'm just going to bounty it. I guess owlbear does say we could offer a trade. Yeah, might as well. We can follow with another owlbear. If they want to spend their whole turn making that trade, we should let them, right? We're going to leave the robber back, though. And both of these are fine to trade. Could even... Yeah, this is great. If we find a... I want to leave black open, though, so if we get a land, we have dispute up. Oh, yeah, I got...
Mr. Owl, how many licks does it take?
What's a large group of bears called? You know, a murder of crows? What is it for bears? Maybe we need to make a name based on that. A sleuth? A pack? Sleuth. There you go. We need to have a sleuth joke as our name somehow. Looking for clues. 5 clues? The Sherlock 5. Now they don't like... I don't like any of our plays, really. I'm just going to send in... We don't need treasure. I'll just make them block. Oh, they're going for that. Parliament, true. Oh, maybe we can do... Funkadelic should be like the name of the the deck. Right? Parliament, get it? Sister Band. Do you just run out the clutches here? We can do clutches and hold up dispute, so I guess we do it. Might as well. Make him lose life, too. I just like holding up dispute, and then we sack the treasure at the end of their turn if we don't need to sack one of our creatures in response to their removal. Yeah, the ability to sack treasure is one of the reasons I'm okay with this in this deck. With the Grim Bounties we have and the Robber, we're trying to get some treasure going, and it is fine to cash in a treasure for 2 cards. That's nice. All right. Red-green. They got an owlbear of their own. Kind of just classic Gruul attack. Brazen Dwarf. Doesn't look like they got a ton of die rolling. I don't know about this dwarf. This is what we're looking at. Just aggro Gruul. Nothing, no need for plummet. We could Price of Loyalty and know that we can take their... oh, no, sorry, we're not... I saw their red and had a red mindset here, Ryan. We're not splashing. There's no need to splash. We could bring in Eyes of the Beholder if we wanted to make sure we had something for their biggest stuff. But we have that. I think we just run it back. I don't see anything there that compels a trade change. Yeah, there were some drop targets, I suppose, but I still feel like we already have the removal we need in the deck. That ain't great. Show me a swamp off the top, and I kind of keep this decently happy, but I think we have to throw this back as is. Oh no, there's an herbalist in my deck? How did we not catch that? We gotta cut this thing. Did somebody scream at me to take this out and I missed it? This is not a good card, and I'm embarrassed that it's in the deck. I don't know. I just didn't realize we had it in. We gotta get rid of this thing and play anything else. Don't play this card, gang. It's not good. Although, if we can manage to get land, we will power out an early owlbear, so that might happen. Probably got to get, well, we can just, yeah, it's actually, we just get rid of it, right? We don't like it anyway, so, although maybe in this case, because it's in our opener, we actually do keep it, because this is where it could be good. Yeah, I guess Wanderer has, is the, yeah, let's get rid of Wanderer here. Clutches, though, helps us almost in a way recover from our mulligan by 2-for-1ing our opponent. Like, the problem with clutches is when you draw it and they're already empty-handed. That's when this card stinks. It's actually nice in an opener. And Grim Wanderer is not a 2-drop unless something dies, which is the problem here. And now one land draw, and Herbalist could actually do something real with the terms of early Owlbear. You think Scaled will die? Hey, if they want to spend removal on it, great.
Oh. Hey, Holmes.
I see, though, Hat. You're saying that's why you wanted to leave the Grim Wanderer in. Yeah. Feels like Grim Wanderer was the wild card of that hand, though. Interesting. This doesn't do anything to anything right now. But we can go ahead and clutches, get their last 2 cards. And ramp to an Owlbear. This is not instant speed, right? Okay, just making sure I didn't sorcery myself out of the land or something. I want to stay 1-3 untapped, and then they need to kind of invest everything into making these each 3 to get in here, and then we try to stabilize with Owlbear and removal. No need to chump yet, though. Our life total isn't that low or anything. Although maybe, I don't know, 8 damage is a lot. It's true. Yeah, I forgot about the trigger, actually. I was willing to take 6, but 8 is just enough that we, with what's coming behind, we should probably go ahead and do it. Yep, chump and activate is the plan. We'll see. We'll see what they want to do about the Owlbear sitch. And we see. Let's see what we draw off of the Owlbear. But we need the spoils to do something. So I think we take it here so that spoils does something. And then we can... Then hopefully it... Like, taking a trade here doesn't feel right given this hand. We just have to cross fingers. Make them beat us. All right. Now we get Owlbear taking out this robber on defense. Oh, is that instant? Yeah, I should have done it instant speed, sorry. I haven't even played this card before. I was thinking of it as a sorcery. My bad. Well, we made a good run of it. They had the answer. I like our chances in the next game. Maybe we do need to, you know, if they're getting us with these double Fang Gnolls, Direwolf Prowler, I'm seeing a lot of good reasons to actually bring in a precipitous drop here. So I am going to bring that in, and I think I'd bring it in over even the giant here. Like, we don't need a 6-drop. They're curving out pretty fast. Oh yeah, Herbalist, that's right. Let's get rid of the Herbalist, thank you. So that Herbalist comes out, but maybe we still want to do something like cut the Gorger and bring in a zombie, or bring in another Wild Shape. This can surprise him. Nah, I think we'll just go with this. Yeah, Gorger gets some life, it's true. I think this is fine. But now the real... First we gotta win this, take this match, and then I've got to remember to go take out that Herbalist before our next match. Come on, deck. Let's get there. I want this win. This looks nice. Need some land, but if we get any land, we're in great shape. Gnoll Hunter into circle into attack on 4 with counters is nice. But here we go, needing little help off the top now. Little help off the top. We want to be attacking for 6 on turn 4. But we need help off the top to do that. At least we have the Underdark to play if things don't go exactly our way here. Boo Earns, not going exactly our way, but we'll play the Death Toucher and hope to draw out of it. If Veteran equips and comes in, we'll go ahead and double block it. It's still a 1-for-1. I guess they would take out our... Oh, if they send both, I think we'll just take out the Gnoll. We could also... Yeah, I'm going to do that because we really just want to follow with the drop on the Gnoll here. So, given our mana situation, we have to try and take the trades that we can get. And this is a 1-for-1, so we got to try and take it. Oh, deck.
Where are we going? To Neverland. Neverland.
Neverland.
Oh, but Neverland.
Yeah, I was surprised they left this behind. One-time dealer. All right, you know, I can't complain. That is a land. And we'll get a swamp so that our Grim Bounty is online ASAP. If the Shepherd attacks here, I'm going to go ahead and take the trade because we're going to want to use drop on the Gnoll anyway. Probably Scry. I don't think 1 life matters as much as a Scry does. Land is good to see. I could just Grim Bounty this to make sure, but let's just Scry, and then we'll likely to find our 5th land. Likelier, at least. All right, keep that. Hang on. Oh, and I'll give you this too.
Mr. Owl, how many licks does it take?
Gotta watch out for this land. That's real. Valor Singer looking to trade itself off. We would, I think, take that trade here, but maybe we take 4 so that we can do Grim Wanderer. Oh, if they're gonna do it this, I think we just eat the dwarf and then set up to kill the Singer with our removal. Gotta watch it. Gotta watch it. Especially with that land lurking. But I'm gonna be a little risky. Now, that's interesting. Hunter's Mark is an instant. But yeah, we could just play the Wanderer. Let's do that, right? I was thinking of doing it on trying to do some combo instant speed Wanderer thing, but the best way to do it is just Bounty Wanderer. Gonna stay back though. They have a Boots of Speed and we're at 5. I'm going to skip the Herbalist meme for the 7th time here. Huh. So we got this here, Hunter's Mark. If we play out the Merchant, we're going to get treasure that would allow us to Hunter's Mark at instant speed. Let's do that. Skullport, and then try to hold up defense and know that we can Hunter's Mark at instant speed if they try to do something with the boots, that kind of thing. Yeah, the land is pretty scary. Love to be able to get a card draw off of the Skullport Merchant treasure thing, but you do what you gotta. If we need to fire off the Hunter's Mark, we absolutely will, of course. And then we're going to try to get ahead off Owlbears and get wide enough to close this out. It's true we have Hunter's Mark in hand. I'm just still nervous. Like, ooh. Nice! We can even kill the Gorger. Kill the Giant. Now, and I am going to just use the treasure, even though it could get us a card if I waited. I want to use all our mana so that we can untap and continue to add to the board with the Giant dead. I don't want to wait, untap, and have the only thing basically I do next turn be kill Giant and play a 2/4. I mean, not the worst, but just going to give up on the card here so that we can effectively get a card here instead. So Hunter's Mark, Grim Gorger gets the job done. Sure.
Mr. Owl, how many licks does it take?
Now, yeah, what swing in are we going to do? We have 4 biggies behind. It would require a double block, and that would be a 2-for-1. So yes, let's offer a 2-for-1. and actually try to get their life to 0. Danmore is worried about this land. That's totally fair. It's a lot to spend, though. They would do their whole turn, and I think we would be okay with that attack, actually. If they spent their whole turn on that land, we would be okay with it. That's my current read. Maybe I'm horribly wrong, and I'm going to lose badly because of a misjudgment here, but I believe we can risk this, and we do need to work their life total down. The land is a 3/2 that when it attacks, it makes a 1/1 attacker, so it adds to the width. But we could effectively block, we can take 2 and block the rest, is what I'm saying. And if they want to, like, speed that up, sure, we'll trade an owlbear off for it. So we're gonna go eat, and take 2, we hope. And then we have a merchant response if they do anything devastating here. They might just have 3 to the face. Like, we could be up against Magic Missile, and they're just gonna kill us that way. So I'm emotionally prepared to just lose, and that explains what's going on here. Spoils is a nice draw. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Jeez, we can almost justify attack for 14, play circle, hold up spoils. It may all be moot. It may all be moot. Is there anything we can do to gain life? Does our deck have life gain? If we get specifically the grim, the precipitous drop. Oh, we already used it though. Yeah, so we've already gotten that possibility. So I think we just leave the merchant back because it's such a good blocker here and doesn't really change the clock much. And then we can have spoils. You like one dude? I mean, if we're dead to Magic Missile, we're just dead. So I'm not even playing around their ability to just put burn to our face. It's the question whether the boots make it so that we shouldn't do it this way. But I think the boots, between another blocker and the spoils, we have blocker, blocker, spoils, and we're even proof against the boots. So I'm going to do what I think is right here and get hyper aggressive and rely on my instant speed removal. And I'm going to play everything out here because this gives us spoils of the hunt and merchant activation. But wherever they go with boots, we get to respond with spoils, is my point. Yeah, Merchant Sack does allow us to fizzle things like Fireball that would do 2 damage potentially to us. So that doesn't matter, right? You can still see where it goes and just spoils and win. There we go. All right, glad we came back for that one. Got the match win. They got us pretty low. I was ready to just take 3 to the face and salute, but we got there. Oh, wait. I did it. Wait. Thank you. I remembered. But good call, Bobber. Get out of here, Herbalist. We don't like you. We would take random creature or medium removal. Let's take medium removal and look to side it out for something like Plummet when they have flyers. You can do Wild Shape number 2. I think drop number 1 is better than Wild Shape number 2. We do have a Blade too that we could conceivably get another advance on the dungeon. But I like this. Thank you for the cheer. Appreciate that. I didn't realize it was in the deck, D. I don't know if you got here late, but it was just a card that we randomly drafted, and then nobody that I saw, and myself, there was a failure to identify it in the deck even, and as we were looking at cuts. So that's why I was happy to remember to take it out. We don't want it in the deck. It was just an accident. Boy, this is an interesting opener. 3 excellent cards, but not castable at all based on our current situation. On the play, though, I'm going to keep this. I'm just going to hope we get there. Raptor says Mole. All we're asking for is our deck to give us some of its creatures, and then we're okay, so I like it. I channeled my inner Marshall. It's vulnerable to curve outs, and this is a deck that could do it, of course, but we're on the play, which was part of my reasoning. Yeah, this is not a real card to me. I wouldn't play it. It's been annoying at times. Sometimes you're like, oh, they do have this 3/3 they can make, but it's not good. Especially if we can spoils it after they've put mana into it. And there is our Dungeoneer. I'm going to play the Dungeoneer here. I don't care about killing either of these. They can send in the Ghoul if they want, and we'll let that happen. But I'm going to go Blade here and set up spoils next turn. Do I want to attack? It is a 4 damage. They just 1-for-1 with that, and that's not worth it. Although, yeah, it's not worth it. We'll just go with the Blade here. We might have to spoils the Ghast, though. If they try to get aggro with us, I think that would be good. It probably does, but maybe not. Maybe because you can sack it for mana of any color. Yeah, Ghoul is always going to pause, yeah. Wow. Color me okay with all of this. So, I don't know why they didn't just attack with the 6/2, but we'll take it. So now, I'm just trying to figure out if I block here. Probably no, I'm just going to spoils this. We'll take 5. It's fine. See if they got anything else. You got land and a play. They got some kind of pause. What's the pause about? Maybe it's just a main phase pause. So it pauses in main, right? Let's go. No, they 1-for-1'd, right? They spent a price and killed our 2/4. It's not a sack pause because they had already sacked, and this is once per turn. Oh, price, yeah. The price was weirdly used, yeah. But now the pause is explainable by that. And yeah, we're just going to go down the middle here. Get us a scry, find a bear. At least bottom of land, that's nice. And could bounty, but it doesn't give us a spoils. I think we just spoils and we hold it up though. There's a... You could make a case for doing it before we get into the back and forth of having both sides with open mana, but I'm willing to take the risk here and work with instant speed death touch pings. Just so. This is one of the reasons to wait. Oppo seems pretty eager to throw things into the ghoul's mouth. So, now Mike... So, Mike, would you have done it when shields were down? Because, I mean, we can do it now, but there's risk, of course. The thing is, the risk is mitigated by the fact that we can untap and Grim Bounty and kind of restabilize even if our board is empty. So, I'm going to go for it. This could work out poorly, but I'm going to go for it. I mean, I set myself up to try that. If I was not going to do that, I should have done it main phase on my other turn. All right, now we're gonna. Is this a counter? +1/+1 until end of turn. We'll still use this. Gobbo. Oppo with the sea of 1/1s. Yeah, it's true. We could have bountied to have Hunt up. Yeah, Ghast is a real deal. Right now, it's threatening the Fang Blade. Yeah, it's Kraken Evolving Wilds. So we could bounty the Barbarian, spoils the Ghast. Or I hate using, I mean, they've only got one card left, though. I don't love using our premium stuff on such weak stuff, but we're also, if we go ahead and just do that, go bounty, spoils, and even we get the treasure on spoils, that's not the worst. I think we just have to do that. Hammer says wait. I'm doing it. Feel like there's too much value in pressing and creating an advantage here. Some people think I'm being rushed, but getting the Fang Blade in, and we have great draws too. Our Fang Blade gets bigger. Who's the man? Let's see which one they want to do here. I'm just going to send in. You let that thing connect. I'm just going to draw an owlbear. I promise you, Oppo. You let that thing connect. Owlbear for me. I mean, Involving Wilds for me. Boy.
Oh, here comes the flood.
Gonna hold the bounty. Right now, we're winning this race anyway, so let's let them make a change. Yeah, I thought that was a pretty good called shot odds, right, Hat? It's like, it's darn likely as far as these things go that we find an owlbear soon. And now we can head down the right path. If they drew something here, this could be some sort of for one. Ooh. This suggests maybe we're losing our blade? No? Yeah, there's no reason to double block if they're not going to actually kill the blade. I'll drop our second Death Toucher, but we'll hold the bounty.
We will say goodbye to flesh and blood.
Still not going to use the bounty. I just don't... It's not like we're... Like, because now, especially, we're at the beginning of a dungeon. It's if we were close to some huge payoff for a dungeon, it might be worth clearing the way, but we're not even at the end of a dungeon, so... Right on D. Glad that was functioning for everyone. I'm gonna... Let's see. Do we have... I guess if we end up going... Annihilation Dungeon, discard Forest is nice, but Owlbear says we might just want to go Owlbear into Owlbear, so I'm going to play lands. I don't know if we have any other bears or owls in the deck. Dang it. Well, I suppose if I'm going to get flooded and win, that's the best, right? So now I can bounty, but I still don't think... You think it's worth bountying? Yeah, I guess Bounty Tomb is starting to be worth it. Mike likes the bounty. Basically, it's whether we're trying to press our advantage and close the game out before they draw something, or just hold this in case they draw something. I'm gonna go with this. Again, I think if we were closer to something amazing dungeon-wise, I would do it this way. And let's see if it changes the math. It does put him in a tough spot to go Annihilation, so let's do that. Owl into owl is now what I want. I just want 2 owls in a row. Hey, I could have held for discard, but I'm trying to do style points here. Oh, I wanted owl. Owl into owl. Yeah, they had a discard, but they're in bad shape, obviously. I know, Mike. I get it. I just like the pretty 10 lands. My heuristics just play themselves out as I focus on other things is really the point. Don't think there's anything they can do here. That's just style points. Oppo really doing the steal and sack thing though, so we got to watch our. We can expect our bears to be stolen by price. Come on, yeah, Tomb of Annihilation for style points. Yeah, good job, Oppo. We all salute you for that. Actually, like, given their plan of price of loyalty, I think we're going to go with Wild Shape number 2. This says counter target price of loyalty for 1 mana, and I like that. I think we do want to keep in the drop, though. We could drop the Hill Giant. They're pretty darn low down. And if we don't have protection against the theft, Hill Giant is a bit of a liability against price of loyalty. Dryad is not my favorite card. It's on the weaker end of the stuff we are running here, but with Quint Owlbear, Dryad being a turn 1, turn 2 sequence or a turn 3, sack turn 3 sequence is decent because we get an Owlbear on 4. That's really what it comes down to. And actually, I don't mind the Dryad against all these ones from Oppo because we can threaten to trade or chump sack, you know. So that's where I'm leaning, is cutting the Hill Giant. So I'm going to do that. You watch, we're going to counter target price of loyalty with our sweet uncommon. Yeah, good call, Mike. It's really annoying against that ghoul. We get to keep this. A lot of options for turn 2. Well, 2 options for turn 2, but they represent quite the different path. Horde Robber, very good against Oppo's 1/1 deck. So it's looking now like we're going to open on Horde Robber. There's the ghoul we were talking about. Oppo was hyper aggressive with the ghoul last time. Let's see what they do here. I could see them going for the price. Like, if I'm Oppo and I have a land in price, you could totally legit just go snag the robber, swing in, get some treasure, and then sack the robber. Might be a good move for Oppo if they've got it. Yep. Oh, get the treasure, though, man. It's just one life. Oh, I think that's a mistake. For one life, they should just get the treasure. Wild Shape is interesting. It's fine. It's absolutely playable, and then it gets better in a spot like this where I'm trying to counteract a very specific spell. Now, though, are we clutching to decimate their hand? What I don't want is for them to get down to one card next turn. And clutches would ensure that they don't get down to one card next turn, but also Hunter and then try to clutches next turn has some merit as well. Tron, Mike, and JC all just want to clutch now. I suppose. We're a little low on life. I'm a little worried, but this should kick out their endgame plan to some extent. They get to keep their best, of course. Yeah, we get to go to 10, but right now we don't have a good follow. I mean, we can play Knoll Hunter and threaten the ghoul. Right. I mean, this is why, like, if we waited until they're down to 2, we don't get to let them keep their best card. If they got another price, we could just lose to that. But then we get to be on the play in game 3, and I like our chances there. But you're seeing the power of even a pretty medium red-black deck, right? This medium red-black deck is putting a lot of pressure on our life and making us really fear a handful of possible cards. I mean, we're at turn 3 and we've done stuff. We made a turn 2 play and a turn 3 play, and we're down to 10 life. Maybe less if Oppo gets hyper aggro again for some reason. So kind of want another 2-drop creature if I'm picking the top of the deck here. No luck, and now we really need this Knoll Hunter to survive, and we need this to not be anything, and this to not be anything. Boy. And now we need a basic off the top, so queue up Evolving Wilds, right? Mimic is dangerous, but they gotta use their whole turn for it. Really, it's whether or not these cards are anything. You'd be okay. Yeah, Evolving Wilds at least sets us up for bear and gives us, and we have removal. But yeah, I would obviously prefer just to be able to bear and try to defend with a creature, but well, let's see what they do. Okay, they're making treasure, and that probably means they can activate their Mimic. And they're just kind of moving all in here. Oh, interesting. Just send the Javelineer. Yeah, as I say, I don't want to block that. Are you kidding me? Yeah, I can't take 9. So I guess we're stopping the biggest thing. And now we're crossing our fingers.
Mr. Owl, how many licks does it take?
Probably where we just lose to the other price. Hey, Blue Spirit Lady, welcome. Yeah, I caught your comments. Appreciate that a lot, and glad you could show up live. Welcome. Yeah, that's true, but I'm just being pessimistic, JC. If I fear the worst and then the worst happens, I get a little less tilted. So now, yeah, as I say, if they go for the investment here, we're going to just trade off Owlbear for a Ghoul and then drop another Owlbear. Oh, you got to send the Barbarian too, buddy. Zymox, I think I like your line if you're willing to send the Barb. Oh, sorry, yeah, Summoning Sick, my bad. The animation was blending pretty well there. So now we get an Owlbear. If we can draw a forest, we can actually play the forest and then Wild Shape protect it. Yeah, sorry, gang, I didn't see it. Could have sent Mimic though, yeah, and that would have been reasonable. Cross fingers. If they blank draw, we're in decent shape. But we gotta get them dead before they draw out of this and finish this off. Like, we continue to be one price away from dead. They're going for it, just trying to get us to a lower life total, and we're going to keep taking the offers. How many bears is too many bears? Never enough bears, but do we want to just mark one of these, or do you want to keep... Yes, I think we keep up two things and are in better shape, right? But let's go with mark now, taking out the veteran, and then hold up shape. I know they're instants. I just don't even want to... I want to have a wild shape to respond to what they might do, and I just was doing it with shields down. I want that thing dead. I just figured I would do it for sure. If you like pass turn, that's cool. I was just being 100%. All right, drop is nice. We can do that, kill something, and keep up our wild shape. We have to decide how much... How defensive to really be here. We do need to get him dead, but I like this. Yeah, well, is Gain 1 better or worse than Scry 1 here? Yeah, you want to worry about Red Dragon. That's true. It does. It's one more thing that just can't kill us out of nowhere, I suppose. I like the life. We don't need a forest. We're good. Couple of ways to go with that, though, for sure. Any swamp, any forest, we can Owlbear 2 with Wild Shape up. And if not, we just go around with Wild Shape and Spoils up, and that's fine, too. All right, now things get tougher for Oppo as we get a second bear down and still have the Wild Shape up. Second Wild Shape, we could send one now. If they want to suicide in, we would go to 4. But I'm gonna attack. I think we can. I mean, we did do some work to get up to 5, but I think we need to get him dead soon, so I'm gonna attack. Wild Shape is very powerful at protecting us here. Yeah, we're just on bears for days now. Yeah, Wild Shape's hexproof mode is what's going to protect us from theft. Not enough to justify the double Brazen Dwarf. Again, this is not a good version of the black-red deck in my opinion, but it's still doing work, you know? It's really a testament to the archetype, I think. It's high impact when you cast it. It's not that I would call it low impact, Jim. It's that it's narrow. I mean, it's a 1-mana hexproof spell. Like don't overcomplicate it. Like against heavy removal, it's does its job, but it's not an important card. I don't think it's important. But when you cast it, it tends to be high impact. Bears for days, baby. Still just gonna send one though. Now they're getting wider here. Oh yeah, auto tapper got me. We could have had 2 of these up. It's not gonna matter though. I mean, they're only gonna draw 1 card. Yeah, Snakeskin Veil is better at the hexproof part, but the Reach and Elephant Angle have relevance as well. So perhaps Snakeskin Veil is better in the abstract, but it does a similar job, is the bottom line. Aha! Way to get us to 3, but not dead. And we'll ditch 1 Wild Shape and... Boy, what do we get rid of beside... I think we still keep a Wild Shape. But do we get rid of an extra bear? I kind of want the 4 bears. So then we should get rid of Hunt as the worst... We're dead on board? How? Or are they dead on board? Okay, good. Severian, are we dead? How do you mean? But they're dead on board with no cards. Good call. We'll just do this and win target game. Oh yeah, if I kept both removal. It still should still be least forced. Yeah, I should have kept both removal, and then we would have been had it exactly right, but it will be fine. Yeah, sorry. I was thinking of it as dead on board with a trample, but the double 3 toughness means that, in fact, they are actually in a forced block situation. Now let me rethink and make sure I haven't screwed this up too badly. So if we kill the Brazen Dwarf and swing in with everything, and they have to block with a Brazen Dwarf or they lose. So then that only leaves the Javelineer, and we have plenty back to deal with that. So we go removal, force chump, circle, hold up, Wild Shape. Wild Shape doesn't actually increase our damage. Our stuff already has trample, and this adjusts the base, so it actually makes our creatures smaller. It's not going to help us push through damage. Yeah, Missile we just have to accept as one of the possibilities. I mean, it could happen. That's why they put it in their deck. Looks like they kind of agree. I mean, they're leaving themselves out to basically only that. Even that, we can go ahead and play this. No, I should just leave up. No, yeah, we can play this. We still have Wild Shape. It doesn't matter. I mean, either they get us to the face right now or we win. One of the two. Well, either they are slow rolling their own death or slow rolling our death. Power word kill, not good enough, and we'll hexproof it for good measure. Fireball only does 2, so that wouldn't have done it. All right.
Bender, honey, we love you.
Shut up, baby, I know it.
Not perfectly played, but played well enough. We'll take it. Yeah, Red Dragon wasn't out for them, and Magic Missile were the ones I could think of. Good stuff in the meme land, thanks to Prof, Hat, and Duncan. All right, nice keep. Just need a touch of land here and we're looking good. Wouldn't mind a 2-drop if the magic gods are listening, but I can accept this. Skullport on 3 to potential Owlbear on 4. I like it. Could go with Fang Blade to threaten a block, but let's just go for Owlbear next turn off the Merchant Treasure. I think powering out an Owlbear a turn early is kind of worth a card that we could get in terms of waiting to sack it to the Merchant for card draw later. Although, you know, that's kind of a reason to just hold, because we could Grim Bounty that instead. Although we can also just Owlbear, and now we have back-to-back bears, and we can just trade this off, and that's okay. Yeah, let's just trade. We're willing to trade off Owlbears. Trading bears.
Mr. Owl, how many licks does it take?
All right, they got us there. Take 4. But how many times can you use 1-for-1 removal on our draw bears, you know? This is fine. I played Oddworld. That was a great game. They send in, I think I'm trading the bear. Sure. We got Grim Wanderer plus Bounty, so we can kill whatever they follow and then play a Wanderer and have a 5/3. So I'm fine just taking the, like, we've already drawn a card off this. We just trade out Owlbears 1-for-1 for days and be pretty happy about it. See where they want to go dungeon-wise. Probably down the middle. Yep, there's the Lost Mine as usual. Scry to the top, good note. There's the planar ally that we're going to go ahead and kill, and we even get a drop for the dungeon crawler, although I don't know if we want to actually do that, but certainly I like Grim Bounty, Grim Bounty into Grim Wanderer. It's a grim tale of dead angels here. Could just do the treasure into the drop as well, but again, I don't see the need here. I'm just going to go Grim Wanderer. Get another treasure that we can sack to the merchant for value. Sounds good to me. Another ally. This one, we don't have the tools in hand to stop. But we can try racing it. I think I'm going to sack treasure to the merchant here first and see what we get off of that. Swamp. Yeah, I could have disputed the treasure, that's true. This is still good for holding up as a response, though. We can play the blade and have it up as a response. If we send the 5/3, it's really a double block to stop it. So, or they block with the planar ally, and that's good too. I think that if they want to double block crawler plus spawn, that's fine. You want to drop and scry? I'm going to 2 for 1 if they want, although I acknowledge this could be coming back. Yeah, maybe they're not blocking. But if they are, I'm fine with it. And if they're not, I'm fine with it. So I like this attack. Now, we could drop the crawler, but again, I just don't see the need to drop anything here. I'm going to play the blade and hold up dispute. Hold up dispute and merchant. Interesting. Are they considering treasure? I don't know what the delay is. I figured they'd just go for Gobbo. Now that's a card I like dropping. Owlbear can do both. Right, we're at 8, so we can bear and drop. Let's start with a drop and a scry here. I mean, they can sack to keep it alive for the turn, but that's fine too. It definitely dies at end of turn, even if they decide to keep it alive here, so I kind of hope they do. Go for it. And obviously can't go to Annihilation, and we're far away from here. Let's just scry. Do we want that? I think we want answers to the ally, so I'm going to dig for removal. And Fangblade Wanderer I still like as an attack here, and then we have Owlbear after. Probably just trade Crawler for the Fangblade, though, so maybe that's not great. And they are going to complete soon, so maybe we just send the 5/3 and force it to be a double, but then they just double with the Goblin as well. But if I don't send, what are we doing? Yeah, I hear you, Mike, but how do we win this game if we're not attacking, though? I guess I'll go one more turn without doing anything except Owlbear, and then see if we find some removal. We have 2 draws between the Owlbear plus our natural draw to find... Yeah, there we go. Now I feel better. That planar ally's got to die! We can even go Grim Bounty and then cash in the treasure from it to the dispute. Get a lot of draw out of this. Now I'm liking attack with all three of these and let them make the good trades where they have them, and then we kill the planar ally, and they're down to one card, and things look a lot better. So I say, do your best, do your worst between Grim Bounty and Deadly Dispute. Yeah, you like the pre-combat. I thought maybe we might want to use Dispute based on how they play things here. But this all looks fine. All right. I'm going to go ahead and cash in another treasure here. Oh, yeah, sorry. We're still looking good, though. I didn't really math that out. Let's just clutch anyway. See what they got here. So we'll play the 7/6, and then it's lethal all by its own. And we can even play the Dryad too. Yeah, we could have gone Owlbear. I just maxed the mana here. All right, on the verge. On the verge. White-black Dungeoneering. Need to get those planar allies out of the sky. To that end, we bring in Plummet, and we're pretty happy about that. We can cut... I think I actually like the precipitous drop here. They're showing a lot of low toughness ground creatures that we wouldn't mind killing. They've got a lot of removal too, so we could cut a wild shape, but the hexproof probably comes in handy. We could just get rid of the Dryad and say we don't need this ramp. Probably one of these two. Mike says drop the shape. We did see. Let's see what we saw. We saw just power word kill. Yeah, we could cut clutches, given that we're going to be on the draw and they're likely to empty their hand. I like that. Let's do that. I like Raptor's suggestion. We're going to do that. True says for sure Dryad. I liked the cutting the Mind Rot on the draw. Well, we got a 2-drop technically, but it's not the best kind of correct right now. I'm going to keep anyway, though. Not throwing this hand back, but wouldn't mind a 2. Really wouldn't mind a 3. But this is too good of a start to throw back. I don't know what I'd be... it's a little awkward, yeah. But I don't see how we throw this back, right? I mean, that's rough. Get a second swamp here. All right, deck, how about a robber? Uh-oh. We're getting rolled, gang. Awkward keep. Proving itself awkward. If we don't draw something significant to affect our situation off, if this card isn't, I think we just straight lose this game. Yeah, that's real tough. Taking another 5, like what we need now is for them to play something we can plummet. Like if they don't play a flyer and they play, or they can play nothing, I suppose. Nah, that was the exact opposite of nothing. What a wrecking. We still shouldn't scoop, though. We can bounty away the Dungeoneer. Go to 2. And maybe find something to play plus spoils. Oh, there you go. Now that kind of gets us 6 mana. It's close, though, you see? Like, I didn't give up because we're actually 1 mana away from stable. You know? We go plummet. But we don't have it all. Short by 1, yeah. So Giant... No, Giant is lethal. We only get 3 life there, so we gain 3, go to 4, and then block the 3/1 and lose to these 2. So everything is short. We just won't show them anything, and we'll get them in game 3. Awkward keep. I feel like I have to make that keep, but am I being stubborn? I don't want to be results oriented either. We knew that could happen, but I felt like the hand had too much potential to develop to throw back. And you see we were actually pretty close despite the real problem there was a 2-power creature on turn 1. That was rough. To that end, we could even throw in an Herbalist to try and shore up our early defense, but I'd rather, like... well, it kind of is. With Neverwinter Dryad, it's like one, and the Owlbears... I mean, I don't think this is this is a 18-lander just because we have this end. It might be an 18-lander because we have 2 Evolving Wilds, but... I'm going to go with my sense of things here and send it back. Yeah, 1, 8, and 8 might be interesting. Well, we keep this. We're not going to get run over, and we have Owlbear mana, so Skullport keeps us from getting run over. Or at least makes them have removal. And this is tough to remove at 4 toughness. They got to use, like, Containment Sphere or whatever on it. I guess they could use the they could pump their team. Or anyway, this is a pretty good blocker is what I'm saying. And it enables a turn 4 bear. And Oppo has mulliganed. So, I want them gems. This is a 2,000 gem game right here. Dungeon Crawler again. Maybe they've got multiples, but that's super annoying. This time we got a Merchant for it and an Owlbear after. Oppo pausing on 2 mana. That could be the +1/+1 team or deal 5 to attacker. Or it's power word kill. Alright, well, they're getting an aggro start, but the bears are coming. Feel much better about our spot this time.
Mr. Owl, how many licks does it take?
Bear Parade. Well, we're gonna trade for their trick. I guess we could just take it. Yeah, maybe it's Manticore. Let's say no blocks. It's not worth that for a Manticore. That's fine. We could dispute it, but I'm just going to go with another bear. Endless Parade of Bears is fine. So we had a read before. Oh, interesting. All right. Well, really want removal, but I'm going to keep pressuring them with... I'm going to attack with bear and play bear. Got a lot of removal in the deck. We just need to draw some so we don't lose to this ally. I think this card is very underrated. I don't know, or maybe I don't know. I've when I play it, it works wonders for me, and when people play it against me, I'm going, ugh, I need to kill that. Precipitous Drop, not the worst, but not quite the removal we're looking for. Yeah, disputing the Druid seems like a fine play. We certainly don't need the mana. We could shrink the ally, but we're just going to lose to the Dungeoneering. Ah, Wild Shape is our answer. Could be our answer. Oh, we don't have... It turns into a 1/3. Like, we can make a 1/5 Spider, but that doesn't... But we can drop it and then... Okay, well... I'm going to start with Deadly Dispute, the Dryad, in case this is all moot and we can just get something better. Yeah, we could use the Dryad to Spider block, but I was looking for cleaner removal, and it doesn't change that possible play. Oh yeah, they can't get a +1/+1 counter, so that's good. So that play would work. Let's do that with the Null Hunter even. We go Precipitous Drop, and Null Hunter with Wild Shape Treasure up. So let's start with a swing. Yeah, that's true. Let's see what they do. I bet since it's till next turn, though, I think they will choose our Owlbear. I doubt they'll do the Null, because you'd have to see the Wild Shape coming to make that choice. Let's scry. Yeah, there we go. Right, nobody plays around Wild Shape, that's my point. So I expect them to knock down the Owlbear, but not the Null Hunter. See what they do, though. Yep, alright, so now we Wild Shape. Don't have a good spoils right now, but it's instant, so we'll have it on their turn. And we actually have 6 power for the Null Hunter on the Crackback next. Now they got a couple of underpowered creatures with an incomplete dungeon, and we're just trying to keep them off of it. I mean, they could play any venturing, and these would both get a lot better. Although this triggers on completion, right? So this doesn't really do much for them if it's not dead when they complete the dungeon. Yeah, I'm not going to use Hunt unless needed for emergencies, for sure. Hold. Double removal now. Looking excellent. Yeah, what did they have there? Maybe they thought this was... Maybe they misread this or something? I'm not sure what the suicide attack was earlier on in this game. .3-0, baby. Yeah, gang, we did it. Pretty decisively, too. Went to a couple of game threes, but the deck hummed. 5 owlbears. Gets it done. Man. Removal plus owlbears equals a good deck. I mean... How many... Our oppos were sitting there spending expensive spells trading off for owlbears that had already drawn us cards. It felt very easy to crawl our way ahead there. That would have been a good deck name too. Siriana, oops, all owls. Nice. Suspended Brainstorm. Oh, I didn't save the deck. Sorry. Well, you can go back to the VOD and look at it. Let's see, what were its highlights? It had 5 owlbears. It had 3 bite-based removals. It had Grim. It had the Grim removal. It had Precipitous Drop. It basically just had bears and removal. Oh, is that you, Double J? Yeah, we had 5. We had 5 owlbears, and I was just saying how absurd it was to, like, play this must-deal-with creature that had already drawn us a card. Let's open some packs. Nice. Let's see. You know what? Sure. I'm going to first say goodbye to YouTube friends. Thanks for hanging out for that one. Nice trophy. We're kind of in cruising mode in this format. Feels like it's been going pretty well for us of late. I mean, I've had some rough luck here and there offline, but overall, I think my record in this format has been pretty good. And that sure ratchets up the enjoyment. So... thank you for that, and thank you for that sub. That was my last round opponent with a very kind subscription. Good games, and I'm going to say goodbye to YouTube friends. Catch you the next one.